Go ahead.
It was an ill-advised decision, I think, by CNN to give a mic and a platform to somebody who tried to violently overthrow our democracy, stop the transfer of power, run roughshod over the expressed will of the American voters. That being said, there was incriminating evidence from heaven in there. And I just want to use one example to put the
Yeah.
finest possible point on it. Donald Trump can lie with impunity at a town hall. He can do it for fun and casually and cavalierly. But let me tell you exactly what a prosecutor will make of just one of his lies. When Caitlin Collins asked him, why did you ask Brad Raffensperger to find you votes? Here is his precise answer. Quote, I didn't ask him to find me anything, close quote. Here's what a prosecutor will do. You put government exhibit sticker number 1 on that audio clip and video clip. I didn't ask him to find me anything. You put government exhibit sticker number 2 on an audio clip from that recorded phone call where he says to Brad Raffensperger, find me 11,780 votes. When you put those two clips right against one another,
Yeah.
the jurors will start rolling their eyes and they'll be looking at their watches saying, when can we get back into the deliberation room and vote guilty?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we were talking about, the other thing is the documents, right? I mean, the whole documents thing. How did NBC put it? Trump's lawyers told Congress the classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago were there by accident. When questioned about the issue at the town hall, Trump he said he had every right to take them from the White
Yep.
House. Would that be Exhibit B, C?
Well, interestingly, the statement of the lawyer is not the sin of the client. What I mean by that is we can't, as prosecutors, introduce lawyers' statements and then say, aha, the client contradicted his lawyer. What we can do is introduce Donald's statement into evidence when asked, did you show anybody these documents? He said, not that I recall. I don't think so. We're talking about our nation's secrets here. And what you could tell in that answer was that he did show people the documents. Jack Smith, I'm quite sure, will be able to prove he showed people the documents. So we can
Yeah.
introduce that town hall statement as a lie, a cover up, and consciousness of guilt. So there's always a way to use his incriminating statements against him.
Let's talk about E. Jean Carroll, who has
Mm.
indicated she may sue him again. I said that yesterday. I mean, the fact that he defamed her again right after being a day after being convicted of defaming her. One tweet I wanted to ask you about. He declared he wanted to confront her, but Trump did not dare come to court to speak under oath. He instead used national TV to slander her. This makes it intentional harm. Just talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I think the only question for E. Jean Carroll is, does she want to now bring another suit and spend the next couple of years, you know, beating the pants off of him again and winning another enormous money judgment, which she undoubtedly will. I mean, it is pretty staggering that the jury awarded her punitive damages. What are punitive damages? They're designed to punish the defamatory statement and to deter Donald Trump from making future defamatory statements. And 24 hours later, he goes out and he does it all over again. So she will absolutely have a successful defamation suit if she chooses to bring it. And it really is up to E. Jean Carroll. What does she
Yeah.
want now? Does she want to spend more years in court, or does she want to just take the $5 million and kind of move on with her life? But I'll tell you, I think the nation sort of gives her a warm embrace
Yeah.
for really being the first person to take down Donald Trump and hold him accountable for his misconduct.
Yeah, I said yesterday, it feels like justice is on a bit of a roll. I know we're impatient, but, I thought it was interesting. You tweeted, it was yesterday, you said there is a way to deal with Trump's provable lies designed to poison future jury pools, a narrowly tailored limitation on his speech and his posts. At some point, our institutions of government must push back on Trump's dangerous rhetoric before it's too late. And, on cue, judge orders Trump to attend a lecture on how not to violate evidence disclosure rules, which I'm sure is going to go down fabulously with him. But but it's going to be by video, right? But he will be have the rules explained to him, which I'm sure he knows. He just doesn't follow them, right?
No, he doesn't follow them. And the reason the judge is doing that, I haven't seen any reporting. I have seen some chatter about this lecture that Donald Trump must attend. The reason the judge is doing that is so the judge will have all of the evidence he needs that Donald Trump was specifically and personally on notice of these requirements and restrictions, such that when he violates them, it will be very easy for the judge to impose a sanction, which could include stepping him back because he will have proven that he can't comply with a court's conditions of release. So there's definitely a reason to do this beyond just, treating Donald Trump like a third grader.
Yeah. Well, obviously, as I was mentioning, some legal experts talking about they think this town hall will accelerate Jack Smith's timeline. I don't want to get your take on that, but you also mentioned about the where is it here? Oh, a mole at Mar-a-Lago, person who works for Trump becomes confidential cooperating witness for prosecutors. That obviously was already in motion. What do you think the town hall does or doesn't do time-wise?
I sure hope it accelerates the accountability clock because, the longer the Department of Justice goes, allowing him to spew his lies, allowing him to portray what's going on as a witch hunt or some sort of political retribution, the more people absorb that message and think, well, DOJ hasn't done anything against him for years. So maybe it really is a witch hunt. Maybe it really is all about politics. I saw such a disheartening post where somebody said, there are a whole bunch of young people and students who are asking themselves, well, is Donald Trump, has he really done anything wrong? Because DOJ hasn't brought a single charge against him. So maybe the whole thing really is a witch hunt. This highlights the need for not just law enforcement stuff, but timely law enforcement. And that is what has been missing when it comes to Donald Trump.
Well, look at the first Biden ad that's using the town hall. I mean, you must have just, I can't even imagine, your legal brain must have just imploded. His whole retelling of January 6th, that was beautiful and patriotic day. And, he's going to pardon all of them. And maybe just a couple of them got out of control. I mean, I talk about a different version of reality. Hundreds of people have already been charged and pled guilty, right?
Right. And the insurrection has happened now more than 2 years ago. So if there was really a crime committed by Donald Trump, wouldn't DOJ have indicted him? This is the message, unfortunately, that is beginning to resonate with people. That's why, again, I hope the town hall accelerates the timetable for accountability, because at some point, DOJ, I know they always want to investigate things exhaustively and to perfection so they can present a bulletproof case to the jury. But at some point, they have to pull the trigger and begin indicting Donald Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, here was another reason why I wish you were AG. You said I've cross-examined RICO defendants and lots of murderers. Crossing this orange windbag would be a walk in the park. There's no two sides to treason. Yes, that's again, just the fact that CNN gave a platform to someone that has, I can't, you can start even list the things, right? Treason, overthrow of the government, espionage, sexual assault, to spin his version of reality. Of course, on Q this morning, Trump praises very smart CNN for giving him a town hall. Many minds were changed because he mostly unchallenged to a whooping group of his fans who apparently think rape is really funny, right? I mean, that was what was so disturbing about it.
He sends a signal, especially to the younger generations who are paying attention, that, abusing women is kind of cool and kind of neat and something to be laughed at, not something to be fought against. Again, you can't lock him up soon enough and begin holding him accountable for these crimes. He's already fundraising off of CNN's logo by making it TNN, the Trump News Network.
Yeah.
And, enough is enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk George Santos for a minute. You talked about the federal charges against George Santos. Somebody's in deep trouble. It's the word we can use
Yeah.
on radio. Yes, how effed is he legally? I mean, that's a lot. It's 13 charges, right? We've got 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, 2 counts of making materially false statements to the House of Representatives. What is your take on, the timeline here?
Yeah, in layman's terms, he is completely and entirely effed. The first thing I did was I pulled out my big ugly blue book of federal laws, the United States Code, to try to do a quick calculation of his maximum statutory punishment if he's convicted on all 13 charges. I came up with 190 years. So, maybe with good behavior, he gets paroled when he's 207 years old if he's convicted on everything. Of course, the sentencing guidelines will come in much lower than that. But what did he begin to say immediately after being arraigned on the indictment? Witch hunt, witch hunt, witch hunt. And you know what? People who are going to look at Donald Trump's claim of witch hunts for the last, 7 years now and say, well, it worked for him. And so maybe why wouldn't it work for Santos? Maybe that's also a politically motivated hit job by a, Democrat controlled administration, which it's not, right? He's the great pretender. Proving that he committed these crimes will be extremely easy for prosecutors because a lot of them are paper driven. You're going to have paper exhibits, not people coming in and saying I saw George Santos do X, Y, or Z. So, again, we need to set the right tone. We need to make timely law enforcement a priority. We need to get Donald Trump, and we need to just kind of deflate this witch hunt balloon.
I think Travis said something that to you, like, to the George Santos charges. It's like, now do Trump. Like, how come it only took, 4 months or whatever? I mean, I get it. It's a president. If you shoot at the king, you better not miss, blah, blah, blah. But it does seem like this is an extraordinarily long period. And I don't know what you think is up next. What's your sense legally as to what would be the next case up?
Yeah, well, Fani Willis sent the signal that she'll be indicting probably in July. And, she sent a letter to law enforcement, but she could have done that behind closed doors. That was a message to everybody she's about to indict that you have until July to come on board. So I think we'll see that probably in July, August. I think the end of August is when she put the kind of end date on that open window. I think Jack Smith has to be close on the Mar-a-Lago documents investigation, particularly given the fresh confessions by Donald Trump at the town hall. But, I just hope it comes soon, because the longer we wait, the more it feels like the message will resonate that maybe there's really not anything there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as long as it's by October 21st, when Glenn Kirschner joins us on stage at the Saban Theater here in Los Angeles with who knows who else. I mean, it could be a cavalcade of stars.
A cast of 11 billion.
Yes, sexyliberal.com.
We will be celebrating indictments in October.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. All right. Love you, Glenn. See you next week.
Love you, Steph. See you guys.
There he goes.